Hi, and welcome to Inside Bremerton. I'm your host, Constance Baird, and joining me today is Councilwoman Pat Sullivan. Councilwoman, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You have a really unique story about how you came to serve on the City Council here. Would you mind telling us that?
Not at all. I'm proud of my entrance into being a council member. My husband was elected with a large margin. He served a year and a half before he got sick. Then he passed away, and I had some downtime, and then I realized that I needed to find something to do because otherwise I'd be a hermit in my own house. Sure. And I was looking for a way to make him proud of me, move on, and that's what he made me promise. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I had some encouragement from some various individuals that I respected and said, apply. And I'm like, what? No way. I've got 2 associate degrees in computer information systems. How does that support the city of Bremerton? And they said, well, you know what your husband wanted. You lived with him. You were a part of his life in the city and the council. Let's see what happens. And I applied and shocked when I got appointed. But it has been the most rewarding 3 years and got me out and doing some wonderful things for the city and taught me a lot.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. I bet. And since then, now you've been elected to this position, correct?
Yes, I have.
So we've got you for a few more years officially anyway, right?
At least 3 more.
So tell us, what are some projects that you are working on, both personally and with the City Council as a whole?
The City Council is working on a plastic bag ban, and we've got some community meetings coming up to kind of see how the community feels about that. Personally, I use the plastic bags for, I've got 2 dogs, and you have to clean up after them, and plastic bags are easy to, especially with the volume.
Sure.
So we'll see. It'll be an interesting forum. We're coming up community meeting shortly, and then we are in budget season. Budget season is a time for all of us to get together with the mayor. The mayor puts together his budget and then presents it to the council so that we can review and look where the funds are coming from. And some of the council is really focused on our local streets and sidewalks. That is a passion I am. This last year finished up Liebe Boulevard, a reconstruction of that, which desperately needed it. And but we've got that's an arterial, and we can get funded for the arterials through grants.
Okay.
But our local streets and sidewalks have to come from the city. We don't get grants for those. So we have some major streets, local streets that need a lot of work. The council's been setting aside some funds the last 2 years, and we've been able to get some really good work done this year.
Wonderful.
I'm excited.
Perfect. And what about you personally?
Me personally. I come down, projects I work on is this park. It's my go-to park. I'm a member of the Weed Warriors. We come down the second Saturday of every month. February through November. December, January, February is just November, December, and January are just too cold, wet, and rainy, and freeze down here. But we come down, we can't take any chemicals and put them along the shoreline. So, because that then of course goes out into the sound. Sure. So we come down, we pull all the weeds along the shoreline by hand. That is one thing for the city that I'm very passionate about.
So I used to come to this park a lot as I was a young kid with my great-grandparents, and a ton has changed. Tell me a little bit about the park that we're sitting in right now.
So the Lions support this park, and this past year we have the Lions funded this climbing structure behind us, and that was a recommendation of more play equipment down here at the park by Mr. Gillespie. He came to one of my very first council meetings and said, all the parks are wonderful, but guess what? Lions Park doesn't have enough play equipment for the children. And it took us 2.5 years to get more equipment, but the Lions came through with a climbing structure. At the same time, the city came through, and funded a replacement of the zip line that had broke. The zip line had some rotting features, and so they tore it all out and they put in this real sturdy zip line. And between the time that it broke and the time it was replaced, you can't imagine how many people contacted us and said, we miss our zip line. I'd be walking around, they said, when are you going to fix this zip line? So very proud of the work that the city and the Lions have invested, the time and money that they've invested in upgrading, keeping this park upgraded.
Absolutely, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Love it.
And you are the councilwoman for District 1.
Yes, I am.
Tell me a little bit about your district.
District 1 is majority residential, but we do have some jewels in our city, you know, Lions Park being one.
Sure.
Yeah. We also have Lynn's Landing just up the street off of Lebo. We have Blueberry Park where residents can have got little gardens, you know, fruits, vegetables, and right now during this fall season, the beautiful sunflowers. They're beautiful. So we also have Stephenson Canyon. It's a great big swath of an area up the hill that you can go and you can climb around and feel like you're in the outdoors right in the middle of the city. Like any hiking, I would recommend taking a buddy with you. That way if somebody slips on one of those trails going down into the canyon, you can go out and get some help.
Smart.
Yes, I think it is. We also have some jewels here in District 1. The Bremerton Community Theater and Albers Vista Garden. Albers Vista's Gardens, I've lived here for 34 years and I didn't know it existed until the last 5 years.
Wow.
It is beautiful botanical garden. And so,
I've never heard of it either. I think we're going to have to check it out.
Yeah, they have tours and they have open area where you can go in and walk around and enjoy it on your own. So
Sure.
they have both of those.
So 34 years in Bremerton. Tell me, how did you end up here?
I followed the Navy guy. Seriously though, yes. Mike was in the Navy, we were friends. He moved up here with the Navy. A couple years later, we got together, moved in with him in 1986, and I've loved Bremerton since then. When he retired, we had the choice of going anywhere in the world, and we both chose Bremerton. I've put down roots here, which for me, that was a big step, is actually having roots, because as a child I was homeless. My family lived out in the woods. We camped a lot. So and then like 8th grade I only went to school 3 months out of the year because the rest of the time we were camping.
Wow.
No home. So when I came to Bremerton and moved in with Mike and we made our life here, by the time he retired I'm like, no, this is home. I'm not going anywhere else.
Sure.
And where else can you go that is so beautiful?
It's so true.
I mean, we have everything, and worst thing, occasional earthquake. You know?
Sure.
But we have the beautiful parks, we have the mountains, we have the views, we have the people,
Sure.
And Seattle right across the water. Where
true.
else could you go? Bremerton's home.
So true. What do you do in your personal time? Do you have any of that left over?
I do actually, because I make sure I have some of that. For the first 25 years that I've lived here, you know, my marriage, I was very focused on work and life, husband, you know, that kind of thing. And then in the last couple of years, I realized that you need balance. So I work full time in Seattle as a staff accountant for Avalara Inc. Then I have the Bremerton City, where I can give council, where I can give back to the city. I enjoy being a volunteer for the Lions Weed Warriors. I volunteer for the Lions Club. I am passionate about the Bremerton Citizen Auxiliary Patrol. I'm very supportive of them. And the Washington State Science and Engineering Fair. I am very passionate about that. It's held every year. We're lucky to have it here in Bremerton. It's where students from all over the Washington State come to present their science projects. What is more important than supporting our children who are going to later become our council members, our inventors? Washington State Science and Engineering Fair is just a wonderful event in the city, you know.
So this is your platform, really. What is it that you would like to say to the city of Bremerton?
I would say be involved. What I've learned in the last 5 years is, you know, there's a lot of nonprofits who need funding, and that's wonderful, but being involved in your city gives you the balance that takes you away from concentrating on yourself and giving to others. That's what I've learned. And so be involved with volunteering at any one of the local parks throughout every month. Each local park has a volunteer group that goes down and pulls weeds or cleans up. That it takes like 2 hours out of your month. It's a great event to attend. The other thing I would say is be involved with the council. We are not experts in our field, so we have the city experts and outside experts come in and they give us the information we need to make the best decisions we can on how to spend your tax dollars. Come and be part of the study sessions. The public it's open to the public. There's no public comment during the study sessions, but come and be a part of it and listen to what's going on. You can then send any comments you have to the city council. The city council will receive it. We'll be able to take your comments into consideration, because the next week we're down at the chambers and you're welcome to come there too. Please do come and support your council, and you're able to give public comment then. We make our decisions on the podium, so your public comment help us make those, maybe a last minute change in your ideas of what you're going to support. So please be involved.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Well said, and thanks again for joining me and letting the city get a closer look at one of our council people. We enjoy it.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, and letting our citizens know who is out there supporting and being their representative.
Well, the city appreciates all the hard work that you do for us. Thank you so much, and thanks for joining us today.